Down here, sunlight doesn't fade. It ends. At the surface, the ocean looks familiar. Blue, calm, alive. But the deep ocean isn't simply far below. It is another world stacked beneath ours, layer after layer, each one colder, darker, and more pressurized than the last. And as you descend, life begins to change its shape. Not randomly, not for horror, for survival. This is why the deep ocean makes animals look like nightmares. Not because nature is cruel, but because the rules are. We drop past the last green shimmer of photosynthesis, past drifting plankton, past the last warm currents. Light vanishes, temperature falls, pressure rises. At just 1,000 meters, the weight is already crushing. 100 times the pressure at sea level. Every breathless kilometer adds more. An invisible hand tightening around everything that lives here. In this darkness, eyes grow huge or disappear entirely. Bodies soften into gelatin. Bones thin. Skin turns black, absorbing what little light might betray them. And mouths become openings in the void. Not for drama, for the simple math of hunger. Because in the deep, food doesn't grow. It falls. A slow snowfall of dead plankton, fish scales, fecal pellets, marine snow, a whisper of calories drifting down from the sunlit world. So animals wait. They conserve. They gamble. And some evolve into shapes that feel wrong. Not because they are monsters, but because they're built for a place where nothing is guaranteed. We descend into the mid-water, the twilight zone. Here, darkness isn't total. It's dim enough to hide, but bright enough to be seen. This is the realm of silhouettes. Upward, a faint glow. Downward, blackness. Predators patrol that boundary like hunters at the edge of a campfire. Many deep-sea animals counter this with a trick that feels like magic. Bioluminescence. Cold light, made by chemistry, not heat. A living language of flashes and pulses. Some use it to lure, some to confuse, some to disappear. A fish may carry its own lamp beneath its chin, waving it like a promise. Come closer. In the dark, even a small light can feel like hope. And hope can be fatal. Other creatures glow from below, matching the faint light above. Counterillumination. A body erasing its own shadow. In this world, invisibility is a weapon, and the animals that can't hide become armed. Spines, armor, teeth like needles, jaws that unhinge wider than seems possible. Because meals are rare and opportunity is brief. When prey appears, you do not get a second chance. Now the descent continues. Past 2,000 meters, 3-4. The pressure becomes unimaginable. A human body would collapse in seconds. But here, organisms are built from different assumptions. Proteins tuned to pressure. Membranes that remain flexible in the cold. Cells that don't burst because their chemistry is balanced for the squeeze. And still, they look unreal. Some fish are all head and mouth, with bodies reduced to a tail. Some are nearly transparent, their organs visible like dim machinery. Some are so thin they seem unfinished. But every feature is a solution. Big mouths mean you can take anything you find. Expandable stomachs mean you can store a meal that might need to last weeks. Fragile bodies mean you spend less energy moving and more time waiting. The deeper you go, the more the ocean starts to feel like space. Cold, dark, sparse. Except it isn't empty. It's busy with life that learned to live on almost nothing. And the nightmare feeling the unease comes partly from recognition. These animals are still made of the same materials as us. The same cells, the same DNA, but shaped by a world that punishes waste. And then, something even stranger. Not all deep-sea life depends on the sun above. In some places, the ocean floor cracks open, and the planet leaks. Hydrothermal vents. Black smokers roaring with superheated water, rich with minerals from Earth's interior. To us, it would be poison and scalding heat. To vent ecosystems, it's a feast. Here, bacteria don't photosynthesize. They chemosynthesize. They turn chemicals, like hydrogen sulfide, into energy. A food web powered by geology. Giant tubeworms with no mouths, no guts. Their bodies filled with symbiotic bacteria that feed them from the inside. Crabs with pale shells, grazing on microbial mats. Shrimp with light-sensitive organs on their backs, seeing heat as if it were a color. In the dark, the ocean makes its own sun, and the forms that thrive here can look even more alien. Because they're not adapted to the surface world at all. They're adapted to Earth's bloodstream, the place where rock becomes water and water becomes life. But even vents are islands. Step away from the chemical plume, and the seafloor returns to scarcity. And in that scarcity, another kind of nightmare waits. Sometimes, the deep ocean becomes a trap. A carcass falls from above, a dead whale, sinking like a ship. For a moment, it is unimaginable abundance. Scavengers arrive first. Hagfish, twisting into the body like living ropes. Sleeper sharks, silent and heavy. Crabs, brittle stars, amphipods. It becomes a feeding frenzy in slow motion. Then, weeks later, the bones remain. And even the bones are not safe. Specialized worms, Osedax, bone eaters, drill into skeleton, farming bacteria inside their own bodies to break down fat and collagen. A whale fall can feed the deep for years. This is how the deep ocean works. Not by steady supply, but by sudden gifts. Wind falls in the dark, so life becomes opportunistic. Adaptations become extreme. And our eyes, trained by forests, plains, and daylight, read these solutions as threats. A fish with a lantern, a mouth like a bear trap, a body that looks half-formed. But they are not nightmares. They are biographies written in pressure and hunger. Still, there is something we can't shake. Because even with all we know, much of the deep remains unseen. We have mapped the moon in greater detail than the seafloor. We have watched deep animals in brief flashes. A camera's cone of light, a submarine's slow approach. And always, just beyond the beam, there is more. Creatures that avoid us. Species that never rise. Behaviors that only happen when no one is watching. What else is down there, shaped by rules we barely understand? The deep ocean doesn't make animals look like nightmares. It makes them look honest. Honest about what life becomes when light is gone, when food is rare, when pressure is constant. A world where survival favors the strange, and the strange is simply the true. And the question that remains is quiet, but vast. If life can look like this beneath our own seas, what forms might it take in the dark oceans of other worlds?